Hey viewers and welcome to my channel. Today's video will be to show you how to install Elasticsearch on Azure Cloud. For this purpose I prepared one file with instructions and I recommend you to download it and follow me step by step. So let's begin with the process. First we have to open the portal. And now let's create two virtual machines. I'll create a resource group, Elasticsearch. Okay, and machine name will be Node1, Ubuntu server, and sh public key. The user will be Yoka, and I will name the key pair Azure because I will use it for both nodes. Okay, we're fine here. Review create. And create. Okay, let's download the key pair. I'll put it on the desktop for now. And meanwhile, let's create another virtual machine. The resource group has to be the same, and the name will be Node2. User Yoka. And use existing key stored. Azure. Review and create. And create. Okay, let's go home. Wait virtual machine to be ready. First one is okay. Okay, now we have second one. Let's check it. Yes, we have two nodes up and running. Okay, so the next step is to connect to the nodes. For this purpose, we have to translate this Azure PEM file to Azure PPK. I'll use putty gen. Download it from putty.org. Okay, save, and of course I have to download the putty. Close this. Open the puttygen. Load all files and select azure.pem. Okay, save private key, yes, on desktop with name Azure. Key, save. Okay, now let's open putty and take the IP addresses from the nodes. Node 1, and of course authorization with the key. Open, yes, user is EOK. And we are in now. Let's connect to the second node. Again putty. Node 2. Copy the IP address. Paste and authorization. Open. Yes. EOK. Okay. Let's change the user to root. And start with installation on the Elasticsearch, but before that we have to create two rules for node 1 in the networking tab. Add inbound port rule, and from the service I'll choose Elasticsearch. Name will be Elastic. Add. For node 2, steps are the same. Let's wait to process to finish. Okay, we have the rules, and now it's time to install Elasticsearch. I recommend to follow the instructions and copy links from it, because I make the video with a concrete version of the software, and if you choose to use documentation, you have to take a look of the version of the software, because everything Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana and Filebeat have to be with the same version. Okay, let's start now. This will download the package. Same for both nodes. And Now we have to unpack it. Again for both. Okay. Next step is to edit Elasticsearch YAML file. For the purpose of the video, I'll put the lines from instruction file to the end of the Elasticsearch YAML file, but of course you can choose the option to replace them on the right places. So what we have here: cluster name test Azure, node name node 1, master, and network host is the internal network for Azure. This is because we have to connect to the node 2. Okay, Control X, yes, enter, and now let's edit settings to the node 2, the config file to the node 2. Same. The only difference is node name and the IP address for the hosts. Okay, Control X, yes, enter, and now let's run the service with system ctl start Elasticsearch. System ctl start Elasticsearch. It will take a while. Okay, both nodes are ready now, and let's check them one by one. Okay, everything looking good. Let's check the second node. Okay, and now it's time to check the cluster health. As you can see, we have cluster named test Azure, status green with 2 nodes, and we are ready for the next steps. For the next steps, I will use only second node. Here I will install Logstash and Kibana, and Filebeat will be on my local machine. Let's install Logstash. First we need Java. Yes. Okay, now it's time to download Logstash package. Here, and of course unpack it. Okay, Logstash is ready now. Let's make some changes to the Logstash YAML file. which will be to reward its configuration every time when it's changed. Config reward automatic, just uncomment this line and change it to true. Exit yes, enter. Now let's replace the configuration in Logstash pipelines YAML file. Just clear this, Ctrl K. Now I'll copy these two lines. So pipeline ID will be Azure Logstash, and the config file will be located in Logstash confd folder with name Azure Logstash.conf. Let's save this. Yes, enter. Okay, now let's create Azure Logstash conf file. And the configuration is this one. So what we have here, we have input from Filebeat or bits on port 5050. Filter will be not used in this tutorial, and output will be Elasticsearch with hosts localhost on port 9200, and for the second node 10.0.0.4 9200, but this is optional, so you can of course delete it or just leave it like this. Here is the index name, which is Azure test with year, month and day, so it will be on daily basis. Okay, now exit, Ctrl X, save yes. And of course we have to start the service with systemctl start Logstash. Let's check it now. Status. Okay. Looking good. Let's tail the log file from var log. So tail -f var log logstash plain.log. Okay, what we see here is pipelines running. We have only one, so our pipeline is with name Azure Logstash, and we doesn't have non-running pipelines, which means that everything is okay. Of course, you can check that the port is open with netstat -na pipe grep 5050. Okay, looking good. So Logstash is ready now, and the next step is to install Kibana, which is the interface from where we can see everything in Elasticsearch. Let's now install it, but before that we have to create one more inbound rule. Again, node 2 networking, add inbound to port rule, and this time will be custom, and the port will be 5601. Okay, so Kibana, and add. Waiting to be ready. Okay, and let's start with the installation. Okay, downloading the package. And unpack it, of course. Okay, now we have to make some changes on the Kibana YAML file. Which appears here, and here uncomment server host, and put the internal IP address for the second machine, which is 10.0.0.5. Okay, exit, yes, enter. And now let's start the service. Systemctl start Kibana. Enter. Okay, let's check it. Systemctl status Kibana. Okay, looking good here. Let's go to the browser and check it. IP address is this for second node, and 5601. Okay, we have Kibana now. Explore on my own, and it's okay now. Okay, let's close this for minimize this for now. And the last step is to install Filebeat. So I'll do it on my local machine, and I'll connect to the node 2 where Logstash is located. So now let's download Filebeat. But first we have to make one new inbound rule for node 2, which is to open for public port 5050, and I'll name it Logstash. Right. Okay, the row is ready. Now let's download the package, Filebeat package, from this link. Save it to the desktop and unzip it again. Okay, close this, and I'll rename it to just Filebeat. Now let's do some changes to the Filebeat YAML file, which are to enable this option. So here we have to change it with true. The path is my desktop. And a few more things, which are to comment this Elasticsearch output and uncomment Logstash output, which we are using in this case. Here we need node to IP address, which is this. And the port is 5050, as we said. Okay, let's save this, close, and I'll move this folder to program files. Close this. Let's create one folder on my desktop, which is logs. Why I'm doing this? Because I just put the path for Filebeat to looking for logs files in this folder on my desktop, in the folder logs, and everything with extension log will be harvested. Okay, close. Here I have one example log file with Apache logs, which I'll put in the logs folder, and after that I expect Filebeat to harvest it and sends it to the I expect Filebeat to send this log file line by line to the Logstash, and Logstash will send the data to Elasticsearch. In common case, you are using Logstash because you want just to take some parts of the logs file and maybe let's say the method or the timestamp or something else, which can be done with Logstash filter option. But in our case here, I'll just send the data via Logstash to Elasticsearch. Okay, let's do it. Now we have to open PowerShell. Change the directory to program files Filebeat, where it's located. After that, run this command. Okay, now Filebeat is ready. To give it the file. Okay, let's put this file in the works folder and see what will happen. As you can see, Filebeat sends the data line by line to Logstash and Logstash to Elasticsearch. What we expect now is to see the logs in Kibana, but for this purpose, first we have to make one index pattern which will be with the name Azure test dash, like we provided on the Logstash configuration file, if you remember. Next step, and create index pattern. Okay, our pattern is ready, and now let's check what we have here. Scour. As you can see, we have the logs file presented line by line, and everything looking good. Okay, I want to thank you for watching to this point, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share with friends. Thank you for the support.